You ever hear about a war that humans started and still managed to lose to birds?
Not dragons, not eagles, just big, goofy looking, long necked birds.
Yeah, welcome to Australia 1932. And welcome to the Great Emu War. This is a real story. No exaggeration, no metaphor. And spoiler alert, the emus won. Australia, an entire continent, actually went to war against emus. Let's rewind. Now, how the hell did that even happen? The government had actually encouraged World War I veterans to start farming the land out there. Times are hard all around the world, but in Western Australia, farmers are catching it bad. It's 1932. The Great Depression's doing what it does best, depressing. You fought for your country, now feed your country, that kind of deal. Grow wheat, raise families, build the future. They gave these men land, tools, and a dream. Only problem was, the land didn't care. It was dry, rough, and full of wildlife that did not sign the treaty. And then came the emus. Now, if you don't know what an emu is, think of an ostrich, but shorter, angrier, and with the cardio of an Olympic sprinter. 6 feet tall, up to 100 pounds, and travel in packs like feathery street gangs. Can run 30 miles an hour. Around that time, these emus start migrating inland and right through the farmers' wheat fields. Thousands of them. To them, it's an all-you-can-eat buffet. They tried scaring them off, banging pots, shooting warning shots, building fences, but the emus were like, to the farmers, it's a biblical plague with feathers. Cute fence, bro, and just walked around it. By October 1932, over 20,000 emus were trashing farms like they had stock in chaos. So the farmers did what any rational, frustrated man of 1932 would do. They called the military. Major G.P.W. Meredith of the Royal Australian Artillery gets the call. He's told, Major, the emus are out of control. We need guns. The government, still trying to look helpful during an economic crisis, says, fine, we'll handle it. So they send soldiers with 2 Lewis machine guns, 10,000 rounds, and 10,000 rounds of ammo. For birds, Major Meredith and his men head out to Campion, Western Australia. The plan, simple, eliminate the emus, protect the wheat. What could possibly go wrong? Be home by dinner. Day 1. The soldiers spot a mob of 50 emus near a farm. Perfect target. And that's when they realize. Major Meredith orders his men to open fire. They scatter. The emus don't line up. They move in zigzags like feathered ninjas. You'd think they'd never seen machine gun fire before, but apparently emus are born with built-in evasion. Most of the bullets miss. The few that hit barely slow them down. The soldiers stop, reload, look at each other like, bro, did that bird just eat a bullet and keep running? Yes it did. After the smoke clears, maybe a dozen emus are down. They literally outran the Australian army. The rest, gone. They literally outran the Australian army. Day 2. The soldiers get clever. They set up an ambush near a dam where they know emus drink. They wait hours in heat for a large group to approach, and right as the birds get close, but guess what? The gun jams. Half the emus escape before they even get the weapon unclogged. And by the time they do, the birds are too far away to hit. The official report that day read something like, Major Meredith is not about to let birds humiliate him twice, so he mounts one of the machine guns on the back of a truck.
Translation: the birds won again.
Now they can chase the emus down in style, except the truck can't keep up. The terrain's too bumpy, the bird's too fast, and the gunner too busy trying not to fall off. The official record says they didn't hit a single emu during that entire run. Imagine driving full speed through the outback, gun blazing, dust everywhere, and every shot you take misses because the bird zigged when you zagged. That's the moment Major Meredith realized they weren't in a war, they were in a cartoon. By November, the troops had fired thousands of rounds of ammo. The exact number of birds killed, reports say maybe 300 to 500 out of 20,000 birds. That's less than a 3% success rate. Meanwhile, the emus kept coming. When news broke about the so-called Emu War, the Australian press had a field day. I'm not making that up. Reports said they sent one emu to stand guard while the others fed. So yes, in a way, the emus had tactical awareness. Australia was fighting a bird with a battle plan. Headlines called it a comedy of errors. Some politicians tried to defend it, saying it was a necessary experiment in pest control. But everybody else was like, bro, you sent the army to fight birds and lost. The government quietly withdrew the troops in December 1932. The war was over.
Australia up point by one. They eventually put up bounties and built better fences instead of rolling out machine guns. That's a real quote. Man literally saluted his enemy after losing to them. See, what's wild about this story ain't just the birds, it's the eagle. It shows how human pride can turn a problem into a parody.
The Great Emu War was supposed to be a simple mission, but instead it became a mirror. Because sometimes we don't want solutions. We want to prove we can control nature, and nature be like, no, you can't. It's a reminder that power doesn't always win. Sometimes persistence does. Even if it's covered in feathers and running 30 miles an hour. The emus weren't heroes. They were just being emus, doing what they do, surviving.
But in doing so, they accidentally became legends, the only enemy in history to defeat the Australian army without firing a single shot.
That's not just WTF history. That's WTF human nature. Live to tell the story. If you made it this far without running off like an emu under fire, go ahead and drop a like. It helps the algorithm know you survived the Great Emu War too. And hit subscribe. Because trust me, this ain't the last time history gets weird. Hey, I'm Makai, and this has been WTF History Edition. Till next time,